Broadcasting from the Sacramento Republic FC studios. KHTK AM and HD. KNCI HD3 Sacramento. This is Sports 1140 KHTK. We do sports. Now your sports update. Sports update. Powered by Mercury Insurance.
Hey, this is Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. Two Monday night football games last night, and neither was very close. The Jets beat the Lions in Detroit 48-17 in Sam Darnold's debut. Lions quarterback Matt Stafford, though, he was a story. He was intercepted 4 times. The Jets scored 31 points in the third quarter alone. In the nightcap, the Raiders led 13-10 at the half, but the Rams outscored them 23-0 in the second half en route to a 33-13 victory. Derek Carr for the Raiders completed 29 of 40 throws, 303 yards. He also threw 3 interceptions. The Raiders visit the Broncos next Sunday afternoon. The A's were off last night, but they'll be back in action tonight. They open up a 3-game series in Baltimore. Mike Fiers starts for the A's against Alex Cobb for the Orioles. Oakland is 3 games back of the Yankees for the first wild card and 3 games back of the Astros for first in the AL West. It's 7:02. Time to check out the Marysville Stampede coming this September 15th and 16th. Go to MarysvilleStampede.com for tickets.
Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
I'm not letting you go to work today.
Wait, what? Everybody, listen up.
Welcome to The Drive.
Morning.
You're gonna talk.
Get on the phone at 339-1140.
Pretty awesome, huh?
Jump in on our text line at 441140.
Everyone is talking about it. You must know that.
The Drive starts now.
Draw, Marshon, 6, cuts back to the 3, battling close to the 2-yard line. It took a half dozen, he goes into the end zone, touchdown, oh my! The beast is unstoppable!
First and goal from the 8. Play action to Gurley. Goff throws right side. Cooper Kupp dances in at the pylon. Touchdown LA! In the final seconds of the third quarter, they take the lead here in Oakland. Could be the final play before the 2-minute warning, and it's intercepted. Marcus Peters in his hometown, a pick 6 to say good night. He goes leaping into the end zone, lands on his back, a pick 6 to cap it for LA.
33-13. That is the final. No, Dave, it's still going on right now. Of course, it's a final. 33-13. The Raiders fall to the Rams. Now, we were close. Like you said 10, I said 2 touchdowns. We both had the Rams winning the game. Before we get into the game itself, there'll be a lot of head scratching and hand wringing, and Derek Carr sucks, and John Gruden has lost it or never had it, and Khalil Mack, and we're going to get into all that. It should be acknowledged that the first half of this game, I thought the Raiders looked excellent. Excellent. They mentioned on the broadcast, and I completely agree, one of the best D coordinators of all time, Wade Phillips, was playing a chess match with John Gruden in his offense, and Gruden was winning. There, I think, is zero doubt that the Los Angeles Rams are more talented than the Raiders, perhaps on both sides of the ball, certainly on defense. But the Raiders not only hung with them, but were leading through much of the first half. So it really was a tale of two halves, and I think Raider fan, although it's a little bit of a bitter pill, can hold on to the fact that their team went into halftime with a 13-10 lead. Now, were the Rams rusty? Starters weren't playing in the preseason. First game of the year. Did McVay and Phillips make adjustments at half that the Raiders didn't or couldn't make? Did they figure it out? Sure, of course. But I thought the Raiders did an excellent job in the first half. I thought they had a great game plan. They came out, they executed it. They found a hole in the Rams defense with Jared Cook, who, by the way, 9 catches, 180 yards on the night. I thought they did great with Derek Carr, taking 2 steps back. They showed a stat at one point. He was getting rid of the ball about a half second below the NFL average, quicker, I should say, than the NFL average, which was not allowing Sue or Donald or Brockers to get to him in time. They were finding little short outs. That fell apart in the second half. And I'm not necessarily sure, Kyle, it's anything that the Raiders did differently. I think it's simply that the Rams made adjustments, realized there were things the Raiders couldn't do, and then focused on that, brought everything up, and it was game, set, match.
Yeah, that's sort of what happened. The throws that were there in the first half for Derek Carr weren't there, and they forced him to go to his second and third reads and make plays, and he couldn't. And that's not an indictment on Derek Carr or John Gruden. The Rams have arguably the most talented defense in the league.
Sure.
Certainly the most star-studded, especially at cornerback with Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters. And then their pass rush is ridiculous. And they were going to take over at some point, and they did in the second half.
Yeah.
And you hit the nail on the head. The Raiders had the right idea going after the Rams linebackers. The Rams linebackers weren't good last year. They're worse this year. And they exploited that, and the Rams made an adjustment, and the Raiders didn't have an answer for it. There's an issue that arises, and I understand that the Rams cornerbacks are terrific, but Derek Carr threw 40 passes last night, and only 9 of them went to wide receivers. Jordy Nelson had 4 targets, Amari Cooper had 3.
Yeah, 1 catch, 9 yards.
Seth Roberts had 2, I believe, was the distribution there. And that's not going to get it done. And one of those, I believe one of the Cooper targets was like a shovel pass.
Mm-hmm. He had 1 rush for 9 yards too. Cooper did. He had
maybe that's what I was thinking.
Right.
There was a screen to Nelson though, a design screen on a third down. It was just, I don't know. It was strange. And I get that they were trying to get the ball out and they were trying to exploit the middle of that Rams defense, but 9 targets to your wide receivers is not a great start.
It's. I'm going to step in front of John Gruden here for a second. Yes, it is week 1, but you've got maybe the best defensive front line in football. I would say the best. You have arguably the best secondary in football as well. You've got LaMarcus Joyner, Aqib Talib, and Marcus Peters. And then the one guy nobody knows is Johnson, who had a pick. So you can't go downfield, and you can't stay close. You all you have is these dink and dunks in the middle of the field. But as you and I talked about off the air, Kyle, where Raider fan I think gets really worried is that this isn't an isolated scenario. This was the call on Derek Carr last year after the broken leg and after the back injury was he's not going downfield. He's not going downfield. Yeah,
that was a problem last year for sure. I think I'm withholding judgment.
I agree with you.
Because I think they game planned that way. I think it's a coincidence that was the game plan they thought would be effective against the Rams. The worrisome part is the lack of an adjustment. 0 second half points after moving the ball well in the first half is a little bit of a problem. Derek Carr was a different quarterback in the second half. When I tracked, he had an 8.3 passer rating in the second half. And that went up a little bit at the end of the game when he found some completions, but he averaged 7.6 yards per attempt, which is good.
Yeah.
Like that's better than his average. Like if you get up around 7 and over, you're fine. He averaged 4.4 yards per attempt on throws not to Jared Cook.
Yeah.
That is a problem.
Do you have your stat head? Do you have the in the air stats for his passes?
No.
Yeah, we'll have to get
I'm
those,
sure they were very
low.
short. Yeah.
33-13 is the final. So Kyle, and we'll do a big breakdown of this at 7:35. Kyle, 33-13 was the final. Your best guess. Give me the final score if Khalil Mack is playing for the Raiders last night.
27-13.
They're still losing. Right. We both agree they're still losing.
Yeah.
That's not to say it was a great trade. Don't read into that. But that's another thing that's on a lot of people's minds, as we noted last night, tongue-in-cheek, but it's true. Khalil Mack has caught more touchdowns this year than the entire Raider receiving corps combined and is responsible for more touchdowns than Derek Carr is.
It's going to be, and Raider fan is going to text in and call in, and they're going to be like, I'm sick of hearing about this guy. It's over. It's done with. but that is going to be a storyline all year, and it's going to be a storyline for the Raiders' franchise history if they don't nail these 2 extra draft picks. That's it. That's the bottom line here, and if you hate it, get used to it.
And John Gruden doesn't exactly have the best draft history either. Let's remember
also, that interview with Lisa Salters was brutal.
Yeah, we have that sound, and we'll play that at 7:35. John Gruden talking about Khalil Mack. One last question I want you to ponder today. I feel like I know which side you're going to come down on, but I want to have the debate on the air. Brandon Cooks last night caught 5 balls for 87 yards. I don't have the number in front of me, but there were 2 clear pass interference plays downfield. You could probably add another 50, 60 yards to that. I want to explore the idea of a receiver and a quarterback getting catch and yardage stats on a pass interference call. In other words, if I throw the ball downfield to you and you're interfered with, spot of the foul is 35 yards downfield, you get credit for the catch, you get credit for the yardage, and as a quarterback, I get credit for the completion, and I get credit for the yardage. I want to explore that thought.
No.
Because I was thinking, no, we're not exploring that thought. We're not exploring that thought. Never mind. I will tell you, though, UC Davis Open Sky Conference play September 22nd.
That I agree with.
University
that I can
of Idaho. This year marks the 100th season of UC Davis football. Tune in to KHTK catch UC Davis play nationally ranked Stanford. Not Samford, who almost beat Florida State last week at Doak Campbell Stadium. Stanford, the school with the tree. Be sure to check out.
So UC Davis playing the worst of the 2.
The worst of the 2.
Yeah.
Be sure to check out UCDavisAggies.com for several great ticket package deals still available. Go Ags. We'll get back to this at 7:30. I simply want you.
No, that's fine. I didn't mean no. We can't talk about it.
I think you did kind of mean that.
Yeah.
No, we're not talking about it.
I am the senior advisor of this show.
No.
It's time to play 9 at Sierra Pines Golf Course. Learn more at timbercreekgc.com.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Can we do 4 down territory next?
We sure can.
That's okay with you?
That we can do.
4 down territory next. Back after this on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Raider Nation, join my partner Lincoln Kennedy and I each and every week for Raiders football right here on your home of the Raiders, Sports 1140 KHTK.
Hey, we got a touchdown. Let's
How about
celebrate.
that? That's right. Now the crowd comes alive.
You know what that sound is? If you said, hey, that's a 3-liter EcoDiesel on a Ram 1500, you'd be right. But if you said, that's the sound of $18,000 off MSRP, you'd be right too. Hey, it's Vince Bloom, the big guy at Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. And during Ram Power Days, all remaining new 2018 Ram trucks are on sale, including over 100 new 2018 Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cab 4x4 EcoDiesels that are all $18,000 off MSRP. These Ram 1500 EcoDiesels come with leather upholstery, rear camera, front dual zone AC, memory seat, adjustable pedals with memory, trailer tow mirrors, and more. So come on into Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge and save $18,000 off all remaining new 2018 Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cab 4x4 EcoDiesels. Choose from over 100 in stock. For over 60 years, our name means a great deal. In the Elk Grove Auto Mall and online at elkgrovedodge.com.
Includes $92.50 in California BC retail consumer Chrysler Capital Diesel bonus and conquest cash. Must finance through Chrysler Capital on approved credit. Customer must have leased their competitive brand vehicle for at least 30 days. Sample VIN 352318 ends 10/118.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. We're definitely loaded, and we know it, Rams running back Todd Gurley said, matter-of-factly, after LA's 33-13 victory over the Raiders last night. Gurley rushed for 108 yards on 20 carries and caught 3 passes. Sean McVay, who held Gurley and the varsity out of all 4 preseason games, which confirms trend number 1. September is the NFL's new preseason. Trend number 2, don't expect immediate returns on new head coaching hires. With Matt Patricia's Lions and John Gruden's Raiders losing last night, all 7 new head coaches suffered opening week defeats. Speaking of Gruden, before the game, he insisted that super stud linebacker Khalil Mack didn't want to be here, thus blaming Mack for the trade to Chicago. After the game, Gruden said his team couldn't get to Rams quarterback Jared Goff and couldn't stop Gurley. I wonder why. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Paying more for paint doesn't make it better paint. It just makes it more expensive. The Home Depot carries some of the highest quality paint brands in America, but you'd never know it by the price. Like top-rated Behr Premium Plus, starting at only $26.98 a gallon. Look around. You can always find a higher price, but you won't find better paint. Quality paint, lower price, now with 100% satisfaction guarantee. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See store for details.
Imagining a better bank starts with looking at the savings rates most banks offer and saying, really? Capital One is building something better. You can open a Capital One savings account with one of the nation's best savings rates from anywhere, like here, or here, or here. One of the nation's best savings rates. Opened online, at a Capital One location, or from anywhere. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
For consumers only. Offered by Capital One N.A. member FDIC. Copyright 2018 Capital One.
Jason Ross here, and we all have financial questions. Like, what's the best way to use my tax refund? Do we have enough funds to renovate our kitchen? And are we putting enough money into our 401k? Whether you have questions about saving, spending, or anything in between, Bank of America's experienced financial specialists are here for you. Proudly serving the greater Sacramento area, so schedule that appointment at bankofamerica.com/conversation and start the conversation.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. If your brakes go out, you're going to fix them yourself? Of course you wouldn't. If your electrical panel fails, you're going to rewire your house? Of course not. Before surgery, you're going to administer your own anesthesia? Not a chance. Then why would you even consider handling your own personal injury case without Ashton & Price? When you retain Ashton & Price, we will take over all aspects of your case, so you can focus on the most important thing, getting back your health. There's never a fee unless you win, so call Ashton & Price for a free consultation.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Tune into A's baseball all season long on Sports 1140 KHTK. Brought to you by Chase Chevrolet in Stockton. Chase, find new roads. Chase Chevrolet, buy into it.
It's time for 4 Down territory. On the drive, first down.
Sorry, Kyle and I are too busy watching ourselves on TV, on the video
stream.
stream.
Hey, we're hilarious.
Go to KHTK.com. Top right of your desktop, middle bottom of your tablet or phone, and you can see all the hijinks during the commercial breaks. Brought to you by Jiffy Lube and our good friends at the Sac Republic. Not to imply Jiffy Lube's not our good friends, too. They're both phenomenal friends. Kyle, 4 Down territory.
What? Sorry.
Brought to you by Fire Wings, 21 different flavors to choose from, and the brand new store in Delta Shores.
That is right down the street from my home.
I'm torn because good for you, and I am happy for
and
you.
You're mad your location's
Come on! Antelope.
Okay, well, fine.
Here we go, Antelope. Here we go.
I can't come to your house to watch movies and eat Fire Wings. You can come.
I can come to your Fire Wings. We should get a picture of each of us in our home Fire Wings. Like, we should have a locker room there.
No, I got it.
Uh-huh.
We'll go to Fire Wings by Delta Shores. I will wear a colored T-shirt. You can wear a white T-shirt.
Yes.
Then when we go to yours in Antelope, you can wear the colored T-shirt, and I'll wear the white.
See, back in my day, it was white for home and dark on the road. At least I always think baseball.
Oh, I was thinking football.
Question number 1.
Question number 1. Which loss was worse, Niners or Raiders?
I mean, they were both bad. But getting beat 33-13 at home is probably worse. Coming off the heels of the Khalil Mack deal. Derek Carr threw 3 picks, so did Jimmy Garoppolo. Do you feel as bad about Jimmy Garoppolo as you did about Derek Carr, though? I think if you polled both sides, they'd say no. Bottom line, they're both a loss, and they both lost to teams that I truly believe are better than them this year. That's why it's so tough. The Vikings are better than the Niners, and the Rams are better than the Raiders.
The Niners loss for me is worse because I walked away from that Niner game going, they make 2 less mistakes, 2 fewer mistakes. And they win.
Yeah.
George Kittle catches that pass before the pick 6. The Niners probably get points. Alfred Morris doesn't fumble at the 1. The Niners probably get points. And now we're looking at a different game. And that to me is rough. The Raiders they were debuting their offense against one of the best, maybe one of the best teams in the league. And with the Raiders, it's like, okay, we can scrap that, and they'll get it together. With the Niners, it was like, dude, you were that close.
Second down. Still in 3 down.
Second down.
Still doing 3 down.
3 for.
3 for. 3 down territory.
Get it?
4 for madness.
3 down territory. We're punting on third down. Which quarterback was worse? Derek Carr or Jimmy Garoppolo?
I don't know. I'm not taking either of them home to mom anytime soon. I mean,
I'm taking Garoppolo home to mom. Are you kidding me? Have you seen his eyebrows?
They were both not great. But I think there's a little bit more hope with Jimmy Garoppolo. I almost overdo this because obviously you and I are Niner fans, and I don't want to come off as homers. So I'm really trying to find a case for Derek Carr having a better showing than Jimmy Garoppolo. But, man, that one interception was terrible. And then the pick six. He's still not going downfield. Jared Cook was phenomenal.
Yeah, he was outstanding. I think Carr executed the game plan better than Garoppolo did. And the pick six that Carr threw was kind of like all right, that's just an exclamation point. They weren't going to win. Garoppolo threw a couple of just very key interceptions, including one on the final drive of the game where they had a chance to go tie it. And that to me was it was a very rough showing for Garoppolo. And I know they had injuries and stuff, but his outing was worse, I think.
Third down.
Third down.
This is a poorly worded question, so let me ask you. I wrote it, and I just realized I worded it poorly. Here's what I wrote. Sam Darnold, case for starting rookie quarterbacks. And what I mean by that is Sam Darnold had a fantastic game after that pick six. When you look at guys like Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen, is Sam Darnold yet another example, much like Peyton Manning when he went 1-15, Troy Aikman when he went 1-15, is you have those guys, and then you have the Aaron Rodgers of the world that had to hold a clipboard, but that was behind Brett Favre. Mm-hmm. Should people look at Sam Darnold, and by people I mean other teams, and go, you know what? I've got Baker Mayfield. I've got Josh Allen. Who's the guy I'm forgetting? There was Allen, Darnold, Mayfield.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. Isn't there a...
Yeah. Who was it?
Why am I blanking?
Help me out.
Josh Allen went to Rosen.
Yeah, there it is.
Why am in UCLA? If you spend that type of capital on a quarterback, unless you have somebody in front of that quarterback that is Brett Favre, that is somebody like that, throw him out there.
Okay. If you believe you have the personnel to do that, where you have an offensive line that's going to make sure he stays upright for the most part, and you have receivers who are going to make plays and allow him to, throw up some 50-50 balls and have his receiver come down with it sometimes, then sure. But if you're going to David Carr that kid and just have his face beat into the dirt to the point that he is broken beyond repair, that is a problem because, like you said, you did spend that draft capital on that guy. And if you ruin him in year one, you're back to square one.
It's a tough call.
Let's say if the let's take the 2011 49ers, just because that's who they have. Dak Prescott. Mm-hmm. Dak Prescott's a great example. Mm-hmm. He got in with a stud running back behind a sensational offensive line with a good enough receiving core that you could start him and be comfortable saying, hey, just go make a few plays. I don't think that's the case for the Bills.
But I also I'll repeat it, though. I also look back at Aikman and Manning. And granted, Aikman had a very young offensive line that turned out to be one of the, if not the best offensive line of all time. But I look at both those guys who got absolutely crushed in their first years. They both went 1-15. They're both in the Hall of Fame. They both have rings.
Okay, and there are plenty of other quarterbacks who went the other way.
No, there are. You're right. I don't necessarily look at Sam Darnold, though, and look at that Jets offensive line and go, oh, yeah, no, they're going to be able to take care of him. And this is, again, one game. Either way, Sam Darnold looked really good last night after he got that pick six out of the way.
Yeah,
and he looked really good in the preseason, too.
I tweeted this, and my roommate brought it up as well. The fact that in his post-game interview, and this sounds so dumb, but it just feels right to me. The fact that in his post-game interview, he got asked about the pick six, And he cracked a joke about like, oh, you just had to bring that up, and kind of laughed about it. That to me showed a certain kind of poise that I don't think every rookie quarterback has.
You're talking about on TV.
Yeah.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, and he went, oh, you got to bring that up. Yeah, and just kind of explained it away. And that to me was, the way he carried himself.
Fourth down.
It's a positive sign.
Fourth down.
It's intangibles, Dave.
Intangibles, they're important.
You nerds with your computers.
Mm-hmm.
Rate the NFL's week 1.
Rate the NFL's week 1. You know, I'm gonna go
PG.
I'm gonna go against the grain here. Yeah, PG-13. I'll give it a B+. I liked it. And I'm rating it against other week 1s, not against week 8, week 9 when everyone's good to go. I thought there was great drama. You obviously had the Aaron Rodgers situation there. Kirk Cousins did well for the Vikings. You had Saquon Barkley with a great performance. Sam Darnold, who we just talked about. There were a lot of really good, memorable things. There was a lot of clunkers too, but I was fine with it.
We had a tie.
We had
the longest game ever.
Yes.
We had the Bills back to billing.
Mm-hmm.
We had, like you said, rookies standing out. It was an entertaining week of football.
Very, very glad it's back.
Yeah.
339-1140.
And only one helmet penalty, I believe.
1-800-920-1140. Would love to hear from Raider fan. Where are you at? Are you ready to jump after game 1? Are you calm? Do you feel any differently about the Khalil Mack trade? John Gruden, why don't you rate his performance as well? Because I think there's a couple ways to go here. You're jumping off a cliff because Derek Carr still can't throw the ball down the field, or you say, you know what, we hung with the Rams, who might very well win the Super Bowl this year, for the first half. I am curious as to where Raider Nation is mentally today. 1-800-920-1140. 441140 on the Jiffy Lube text line. Don't forget, Matt Barrows is going to recap the 49ers game on Sunday. He'll be on at 8:05 on the Firewings hotline. And tomorrow at 8:05, Scott Bair of CSN California. He's going to join us, as he will every week, and we'll give you more on that later, to break down the Oakland Raiders game last night. We're back in a couple. Don't go away. Sports 1140 KHTK.
Northern California, it's time to show your school spirit. Go to KHTK.com and check out our weekly poll for our high school football Stockton Honda Game of the Week. Weekly winners get featured attention on our Friday night football show and a visit from our KHTK street team. Vote now and vote off at KHTK.com.
So you say it hasn't happened to you yet. Well, we hope it never does. But chances are, sooner or later, your pipes will clog and you'll have a drainage problem. It's a part of home ownership that stinks. Sometimes literally, and DIY quick fixes won't cut it. Fortunately, the home service heroes at Bonnie can fly out to your house and make that big problem go away fast. Yep, in 8 out of 10 cases, Bonnie can make your drain problem go away by cabling out your drain line for just $97. And if you're the exception, you'll really be glad you called Bonnie and not some Jake with a snake plumbing and drain guy. Bonnie has the specialized cameras to diagnose your problem correctly. And our stand-up techs will show you the pictures, explain the problem, and lay out all your options. Plus, we'll fix the problem for the price quoted, guaranteed. So call Bonnie for your drain problems and we'll save the day fast. Typically for just $97. For details, go to Bonnie.com. License 696355. BONNEY, Bonnie.com.
Homeowners, you've heard about Quality First Home Improvement being voted the best contractor in the area. Now, it's time to hear from one of their customers about why you should pick up the phone and call them today.
I called Quality First to have them remodel my old kitchen to increase the value of my home. Not only did they do a beautiful job on my kitchen, but what I found was they helped me create great memories with my family and friends. Now we hang out in my gorgeous kitchen so much more. Thank you, Quality First.
This is one of the many reasons you should call Quality First Home Improvement and make them your contractor for life. This month, Quality First is having their summer savings sale. Call them today to find out about their financing options and how you can get your home remodeled with no money down and no interest for the first 12 months. Remodeling has never been easier or more affordable. For information on their summer savings sale, call 855-8012345. That's 855-8012345. Quality First Home Improvement, your contractor for life. License number 875772.
The best cowboys and cowgirls in the nation are coming to Marysville. They're all coming for the Marysville Stampede PRCA Rodeo, and you should be there too. It's this Saturday and Sunday at Cotton Rosser Arena in Marysville. Tickets are just $20 for adults and $10 for kids 4 to 12. The Marysville Stampede this Saturday at 5 p.m. and Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Get your tickets now at MarysvilleStampede.com.
Elk Grove Honda is adding express service hours on Sundays. Now you can get your oil changed, tires rotated, air filters replaced, and more between 9 and 3 on Sundays. As always, you get the quality and dependability you've come to expect from Elk Grove Honda, like high-quality Castrol synthetic blend oil and detailed inspections with every service. You don't even need an appointment. Our process is fast but efficient to get you back on the road, to finish running errands, or just kick back and relax, whatever Sundays mean to you. Elk Grove Honda, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Getting things done on your terms.
We had just gotten home from vacation, and Richie had to go downstairs to grab something out of the dryer, and he had set foot in about 3 to 4 inches of water.
Well, what happened was the pressure relief valve for the hot water heater had failed, and it just leaked water while we were gone.
I had no idea the amount of damage that water could do.
With her being pregnant, the in-laws coming, a little bit of water, it rocked our world. I called USAA, and they greeted me as they always do. Sergeant Baker, how are you? They were on it. They took care of everything, A to Z. It was unbelievable. Having insurance is something everyone needs, but having USAA, that's a privilege. We're the Bakers, and we're USAA members for life.
See how much you could save with USAA by bundling your auto and home insurance. Get a quote today.
Ability to receive a quote depends on membership eligibility. Product membership eligibility and bundling savings restrictions apply and are subject to change. Members paid for their participation. United Services Automobile Association and its affiliate, San Antonio, Texas.
Roseville Lexus.
Grant Napier here. Nothing tops the feel and performance of driving a new Lexus. And there's no finer place to acquire one than Lexus of Roseville. In the Roseville Auto Mall. Here, Roseville, think Lexus.
Lexus Roseville.
Listen for your chance to win 2 tickets to an Oakland Raiders game September 30th and 2 Capital Corridor train tickets for the game. Visit KHTK.com for your chance to win.
Now your sports update. Sports update. Powered by Mercury Insurance.
This is Kyle Madson with your tough.
You want to try that again, Kyle? Hold on.
Yeah, well, hang on.
All right, it's KHTK, and here's your sports update brought to you by...
Mercury Insurance.
Yes. Kyle Madson.
This is Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. Week 1 of the NFL season wrapped up with 2 Monday Night Football games last night. In the first game, it was the Jets beating the Lions 48-17. Matt Stafford for the Lions was intercepted 4 times, and the Jets scored 31 points in the third quarter. In the nightcap, the Raiders fell to the Rams 33-13. Quarterback Derek Carr completed 29 of 40 throws for 303 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Raiders. Next up for Oakland is a road trip to face the Broncos in Denver on Sunday afternoon.
Oh, Broncos.
The A's were off last night, but they'll be back in action tonight as they open a 3-game series in Baltimore. Mike Fire starts for the A's. It'll be Alex Cobb for the Orioles. Oakland sits 3 games back of the Yankees for first in the wild card, and 3 games back of the Astros for first in the AL West. It's 7:34. Time to check out the Marysville Stampede coming this September 15th and 16th. Go to MarysvilleStampede.com for tickets.
It's The Drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Matt Barrows, top of the hour. Niners, Vikings, Raiders, Rams. We'll take your calls at 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Hello, Joe.
Hello, how's it going?
Good, buddy. How are you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. I just wanted to touch on the Raider game last night. And, you know, it seemed kind of like after they got the Marshawn Lynch, it seemed like they took him out in the second half. You know what I mean? And
you're saying they used Marshawn Lynch less in the second half?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And after that, we could not get nothing going on offense.
No, and again, the question there is, was that something the Raiders did wrong? Was there an adjustment they could have made? Or did Sean McVay and Wade Phillips? I think the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I do. I think the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl this year, and I think it's easy to point to their defensive personnel that they brought on. Obviously, they have maybe the best running back in football. They've got a receiver core between Cooper Kupp, who is just a vacuum, Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, who had a great game last night, who they added as well. And then, of course, you have Jared Goff, the number 1 pick, who really started to come into his own last year. I don't think there's a lot of holes other than maybe linebacker, and they played fine last night. But I think they're going to win the Super Bowl this year, again, staying healthy. I think their biggest asset, other than McVay, is Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips is 71 years old, and he is an Einstein when it comes to defenses. I think that's something they were missing. So I don't know. And that's my question for you. I don't know that there was anything the Raiders could do. At some point, you just have to say they made mistakes, but the Rams are a better team.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch in the first half, 7 carries for 21 yards. In the second half, 4 carries for 20 yards. And that 7 for 21 in the first half, his longest run was 10.
Mm-hmm. He had that beautiful touchdown run, though. Typical Marshawn Lynch, just drag everyone.
I'm not certain his legs were even on the ground. I think he had somebody with his legs wrapped up, and there were just people pushing him in.
Oh, yeah.
But just of course Marshawn Lynch would do that.
Of course he will. Of course he will. James, you're on the drive. Hello. Caller.
Hello, how's it going?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Doing good. I just had to touch up what the last caller was saying. We started the game off, running the ball good, and all of a sudden we just stopped running the ball, switched over to passing to Jalen Richard the rest of the game, and Marshawn wasn't getting his carries.
Let me ask you, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I think the argument there, and I'm kind of standing in front of John Gruden here, do you think that makes a difference? That front line of you're going against Brocker, Sue, and Aaron Donald, and you're trying to run the ball at them. Do you think maybe the Raiders saw that they were getting stuffed a little bit and tried to open it up?
You know what? It could have been, but the way I look at it is, why stop what's working? You start off running the ball like that. I mean, we had about 6 or 7 I formations in the first 3 drives, and they were working. And then all of a sudden, you want to just switch it up, and once you start switching it up like that, it's hard to defend it. So
no, I understand, Kyle. Do you think the Raiders could have kept running the ball with success?
No,
I don't either.
Doug Martin last night, 4 carries, 20 yards. He had a long of 13. Means he went 3 carries for 7 yards. I mentioned Marshawn Lynch already. Had the 6 for 11 yards outside of a 10-yard run in the first half. And they weren't.
I mean, the counter to that is that Martin and Richard both averaged 5 yards a carry. Now, granted, to your point, you've got 13 for Doug Martin on 4 carries. That's going to kind of boost that average. But I think that's what Raider fan would say.
I mean, I don't. Because at some point the Rams started scoring and the Raiders had to throw. Running wasn't really an option for them down the stretch. But no, I don't think. I mean, if you don't trust Derek Carr, your $25 million quarterback, to go make plays, then sure, I guess you keep running the ball.
Sure.
But I think that the Raiders thought they were going to continue exploiting those underneath throws. Effectively extended handoffs is what those are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And trying to get their guys in space against those Rams linebackers, and the Rams made the adjustment.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Hey, Mike, you're on the drive. Thank you for calling.
Hey, no problem. Hey, we were out-coached in the second half. I mean, the first half, we're sitting there, Raider fans. I mean, that whole entire stadium was on fire.
Sure
was. It was loud. We were all there. We were enjoying it. Okay? Now, the second half, it seemed like they went inside and put oil on everybody and, made sure that, the Rams were like, haha, we got them. Because when they came back on that field, they just destroyed us. I mean, it looked like there was a good scheme that John Gruden and the Raiders had in the beginning. I was liking the play calling. I was liking everything that they were doing. The defense seemed to be a lot different. They were like it was like, okay, they were able to stop certain things, but man, last night they took the heart out of us. It was like we were loud, and then at the end of the game, everybody gave up. Everybody stopped talking, yelling, screaming. I mean, it was like you could hear the quarterback doing his calls. It was like, yeah, you guys don't want to play, we don't want to watch, and it was that bad.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Raider Nation sounding off on last night's 33-13 loss to the LA Rams in their home opener. And John Gruden's, it's tough. It's not his debut. His re-debut with the Raiders. Caller, welcome in. You're on the drive. Edward, how are you, buddy?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
I want to talk a little about the Raiders and their offensive game plan.
33-13 Rams, 13 points for the Raiders. Talk about their offensive game plan.
For one, if you guys noticed, they were doing the single coverage with Talib on Cooper. Took Cooper right out of the game. He didn't even know he was on the field. Their whole game plan was to let Cook and the running backs beat you. And once they made the adjustments in the second half, Wade Phillips, that offense looked pathetic and looked like Carr just looked beat. Well, I don't know who he was throwing to half the time. I know he was under some pressure, but he only got sacked once. It just, for $25 million, I'm a little worried, guys. I'm a little worried.
One catch on 3 attempts. He was thrown 3 times. That is Amari Cooper. 1 catch, 9 yards. Also had 1 rush for 9 yards as well. And that's really what I'm struggling with. I'm struggling with John Gruden got out-coached. Derek Carr looked terrible. I'm struggling with how much of it is on John Gruden and Derek Carr and how much of it is there was nothing they could do. They were lucky it was a 20-point loss and not a 30-point loss. That's really what my question is. What could the Raiders have done differently? Is there something they could have done differently where you go, man, if they had done that, they would have had a shot? Or maybe not even had a shot, but had they done that, it would have been 33-24, 33-20. It would have made it better. I mean, you're holding the Rams at 33 points. I think before the game, if you'd been told that the Rams would be held to 33 points by that Raider defense without Khalil Mack in their first game, I think most Raider fans would have taken that. 33 points, hey, don't get me wrong, 33 points isn't great. But 33 points against this Rams team with that Raider defense, that my guess is it going to give up more than 30 points in more than a couple of games. And you may not.
And really, it was 26.
You talking about the pick six?
Yeah.
No, you're right.
That the Rams would be held at 33.
Oh, turn down your radio. Caller, who's this?
Dave, hey, it's Rick.
Hey, Rick, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch the guy pretty much stole my thunder. I mean, the best player for the Rams last night, I mean, you have to say it was Derek Carr. I mean, you cannot throw balls up like that. I mean, the score is not indicative of the game. I mean, it was the Raiders. I mean, our defense was playing good. I mean, first half, everything was clicking. Offense, like you said, they come out, they change some schemes up a little bit, and we're still moving the ball. But Derek Carr just looks like a deer in headlights. I mean, he gets pressure on him, a little bit of pressure, and he just throws the ball up. There's just no way you can make the throws that he was making last night and expect anything else but what happened. I mean, it's just totally ridiculous. If he doesn't get any better, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, what we saw last night, we obviously paid the wrong guy. I mean, it's just, and I hate to say that because I love Derek Carr, I love what he brings to the team, but he cannot continue to play like that. It's horrible. It's just totally uncalled for. You got to get rid of the ball. Throw the ball away.
Yeah, 2 years ago, we're talking about having a young quarterback in MVP conversations for the next 5-6 years. He gets injured. Now it's and by the way, I'm not saying you're wrong. And now it's maybe we paid the wrong guy.
I'm withholding judgment. I think the Raiders did a bad job of moving Carr around last night. I think he could have gone more play action. I think you could have moved the pocket around a little bit, given him some rollouts. I think that their adherence to 2 steps and get the ball out to an underneath route was what doomed them last night.
But I'd also like to see what these calls would be like. And this goes to your point about withholding judgment. If they played a lesser defense.
Right, and that's why I'm waiting. If they go play, the Broncos aren't a terrible defense.
No.
They have Bradley Chubb and Von Miller, and they've got talent over there, but not the amount of talent that the Rams have.
Now, I saw the stat, 90% of the time, I think it is, 0-2 teams do not make the playoffs. And the Raiders going to Denver next week at Mile High. And that is the worst. Let me tell you something. The start of this schedule, when you have a Super Bowl contending team in the Rams coming in, you then go to Mile High at the beginning of the year, the worst time to go because you're still not completely in shape. And then the worst time to go to Miami. Now, granted, there's a lot of weather issues going out there right now, but historically, visiting Miami in September in the NFL season is not a fun time.
Yeah,
it
ask
is.
The Titans.
Huh?
Said ask the Titans.
Right. It's hot. It's humid. It's draining. They're going to two completely diverse places over the next 2 weeks for completely different reasons. Humidity on one and altitude on the other. This is not... We could be 3 games into the season looking at an 0-3 team and have people just absolutely losing their minds. And in reality, that might not tell the story on this club either. We may not truly see what this club's all about until week 4 versus the Browns. All in all, they don't have really that many gimme games on their schedule. You got the Browns, you play at the Cardinals. Who knows what the Ravens are going to be? You've got at Cincinnati. That's really about it. The rest of it's AFC West, and then you have the matchup with the Niners in Santa Clara on the 1st of November. It's not an easy schedule, Kyle.
At least they have a coach who understands the gravity of an AFC West showdown in week 2, going on the road. Gruden's going to have those guys ready to play.
Sure.
They were more ready to play last night than I was anticipating. I thought they might come out flat, deflated because of the Khalil Mack thing.
No.
But the Coliseum was, like that guy said earlier, on fire. The fans were excellent. The Raiders were ready to play. I think they're going to be ready in Denver as well.
Raider Nation sounding off 1-800-912-1140. You can text us on the Jiffy Lube text line at 441140. Dion, you're on the drive. Go ahead.
Hey, fellas. What's up, man? I'm pissed off. I was watching that game, and John Gruden, he sent me back to 1989, man. He's outdated. He's overpaid. David Carr.
Derek.
It's David.
Oh, okay.
David Carr.
Okay.
Derek Carr is playing like David, man.
I got you.
David sucked. Come on, man. You're making all this money, and you're turning the ball over, and you're David Carr. You are David Carr, man. And I don't. This team will win 5 games. I don't get it. And then John Gruden says in the presser, "Oh, we didn't have a pass rush." Well, John, you traded away the pass rush, you dummy. Man, I'm just so pissed off, man. This team will probably win about 5 or 6 games, and it's a shame, man. I was just mad just watching the game. Thanks, fellas.
Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you, Dion.
Dion was hot.
Here's John Gruden after the game. A lot of Raider fans are.
We couldn't get anything going. We turned the ball over. We failed to pick up a blitz one time. Very disappointing.
Here's Derek Carr on that pick meant for Jared Cook.
We get Jared one-on-one. Obviously, we know what he can do. I just made a bad throw, so that's all it was.
Also, he and John Gruden together for the first time.
Yeah, I thought our communication was really good for us being the first time. Both our personalities on the field at the same time, getting plays in, getting to the checks that Coach wanted, and all those kind of things. I honestly thought that part of it was really good.
And finally, John Gruden on Marshawn Lynch.
Well, we moved the ball. I thought we moved the ball exceptionally in the first half against a very good defense with a lot of highly touted players. And Marshawn's finish was vintage Marshawn Lynch. The crowd was in it. It was electrifying, and unfortunately, we could not bottle it and sustain it.
Will, you're on the drive at 339-1140. What's going on?
All right. Hey, man, look, I'm with most of the other guys. It wasn't really about the Rams. We didn't expect the Raiders to win, but I think there's a problem with Derek. Derek, for the last couple of years, Derek has happy feet now. He's been hurt a couple times, and now he feels a little pressure. He just throws it up. He's got to get over that, man. If he doesn't, we're going to be in big, big, big trouble because you know how you feel the pressure. You know, you get a quarterback who get hurt a couple of times. You don't want to get hit. He's going to have to expect to get hit, or he can't be a quarterback. And that's all I got to say. It was very disappointing, man.
No, I completely understand. I'm sorry to cut you off. I completely understand. And that goes back to the question of the day is, can you judge this team based on playing a team that could be a Super Bowl winner? And somebody asked me on the text line, Dave, you really think the Rams are better than the Vikings? It's a coin flip. I think they're both fantastic.
The Rams have a better offense.
The Rams have a better offense, and I think that those defenses –
it's really close.
Let's put it this way. You put the Rams and the Vikings in the NFC Championship, and like I said, flip a coin as to who comes out of it.
Right. I'm locked in for that game.
I think it's the Rams' year, and I give them the edge more than likely based on, no offense to Zimmer, but I give them the edge based on coaching and coordinators more than anything else, and that was to my point earlier. Kyle,
no disrespect to the defending champion Eagles as well, who are going to get their quarterback back.
At all.
The NFC is tough, man.
It really is.
It's time to play 9 at Sierra Pines Golf Course. Learn more at timbercreekgc.com.
Calls keep coming in. Want to get to you guys. Frank, you're on the drive on the Fire Wings hotline. Go ahead, Frank.
Hey, guys. Disappointed as well. It's Carr. You can see it in his eyes, man, since he got knocked down or hurt last year. He's never recovered, came back too soon, hurt the team by doing that, and it's right there in his eyes. You can see it. You can see his, like the caller said before, happy feet. He's got to stand there, take a lick, and he's not, his miles per hour on his ball are just like frisbees up there, man. He doesn't throw any lasers or nothing. He's not stepping into his throw. He won't let the play develop. He's just chucking it up there quick. You know, he looks like Gannon. He don't want to challenge nothing. The middle of the field only once in a while. When he does that, he's successful. When he stays in there, but he chooses not to. He's shriveling up.
Yeah,
you know, that's the defense played well enough, Dave. The defense kept us in 3 and out. Then they throw him back out there, and the Rams would chew him up for 7 minutes. And then offense would come back, 3 and out, go back out there. So it's just like last year. That's what it looks like. And nothing's changed, it looks like. The defense kept us in the games last year enough, but Carr is he's just folding our hand. He's not being aggressive. His eyebrows, you know, he looks scared, man.
I appreciate the call, Frank. It really was a tale of two halves for Derek Carr. Matt Barrow's coming up in just a couple minutes. Want to try to get to another call or two before we go. Glenn, you're on the drive. Go ahead, Glenn.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, to me, it's not so much about how great the Rams are as much as it is about the Raiders just, you know, not getting it done. You know, I was looking for a clean game out of those guys. Not a lot of penalties, you know, not a lot of turnovers. And obviously the absence of Khalil Mack was felt. I mean, from the beginning to the end of that game, the pass rush just wasn't there.
Glenn, let me say this. I understand the turnovers and wanting a clean game, but you got to know a John Gruden coached Raider team's going to have penalties. I mean, they're going to have penalties.
There are a lot of – that's one of the things that the Raiders have been dealing with for a long time. We lead the league in penalties, it seems like, every year. But it's those mental mistakes, the holding calls, things like that, and the false starts and the two big pass interference plays that we had down the field. I mean, guys just not turning around and looking for the ball. But, you know, Derek Carr, I mean, the times that he's been great are when he really steps into his throws and really just rifles it downfield, and that just wasn't him last night. I mean, it seems like it's soft tosses. And why is it that he isn't using his legs to extend plays? There was a couple times where there was I think it was a 3rd and 1, and, you know, a little bit of pressure, and he takes a step outside the box and just throws it out of bounds. He's not trying to extend plays. He's not using his athleticism to try to pick up first downs. And there was a couple plays like that. And, I mean, that one interception where I think he said that he was trying to throw it out of bounds, it seems like he's not giving his guys a chance. I mean, he needs to get out there and move to an open space and try to extend the play, give his guys a chance.
Appreciate the call. Sorry to cut you off, but we're way, way, way late for a break. We also have another couple guys on the line, too. If you stay on the line, I'll get you in before we talk to Matty Barrows of The Athletic at about 8:05. We'll wrap up that 49ers game from Sunday versus the Vikings, talk about a couple of the fallouts, injuries, etc. from that. Also, don't forget, Scott Bair is going to join us tomorrow at 8:05 as well. We'll do the same thing, wrapping up the Raiders Week 1. We'll take a break. Back right after this word from Fire Wings on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Leaving your car away from your radio? Don't worry, because the KHTK app will allow you to catch all the shows you love. Never miss The Drive or Jim Rome. Catch every minute of The Lowdown and Grant and Doug. Just download the app now and get all your favorite shows on your digital device of choice. The all-new Sports 1140 app. Get it today.
Hey, Kyle, got a quick joke for you before we do this Fire Wings read. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Delta.
Delta who?
Delta Shores. They have themselves a brand new Fire Wings.
You know what I'm going to bring to the show?
What's that?
So I'm going to surprise you with it. Do your read. I'm going to bring it back.
Okay. We're all very, very excited for the Delta Shores Fire Wings. Some of us also excited for the upcoming Antelope Fire Wings as well, but let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Delta Shores. It's right by Kyle's house. Kyle's going to have to start going to the gym even more because his fire wing consumption is going to be off the chain. Now, that being said, they get a bad rap, you know. It is chicken, after all, and they also have garlic ramen and many, many healthy alternatives for you if that's what you're going for. But for me, breaded Malaysian curry, dragon wings, mango habanero. What more do you need?
Thai chili.
Okay, all right, you need that too. And maybe another 16 flavors we haven't mentioned. Either way, Delta Shores and all the other locations, you can find the one nearest to you. Go to firewings.com.
Tell your joke again.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Delta.
Delta who?
Delta Shores! Fire Wings. Just wing it.